Ciao and welcome back to our Italian for Beginners. This is a course for people who have never studied Italian or have just started studying. Let me explain you in case this is the first video you're watching. The course of Italian for Beginners is on the playlist called Italian for Beginners. Instead, on my channel, there are also other videos which are a mixture of topics of different levels, mainly intermediate and advanced. However, some of the videos are also useful for beginners. And in fact, normally in our lessons, I do mention some of those that can be useful for you to watch and understand a little bit better the topic. Understand the topic a little bit better. So before starting, thank you very much to all the subscribers. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting on the videos. Please do leave a comment if there are any questions. If you want me to maybe add more information about some of the lessons, some of the topics, because I'm only covering different topics, and obviously I don't want to have very, very long and boring videos. However, I can add to any of the topics and give more ideas or more examples. So if you have any specific difficulties or interest, do leave a comment. I'll answer it, and I'm very happy to make a video about it. And also, I'd like to say that I do private tuition with Zoom. So if you're interested, please make contact, send me an email or write a comment and get in touch, and we can discuss it. Normally, it's a one-to-one tuition or very small groups, or which are at the same level, of course, people at the same level. So this is lesson 10, Lezione 10, a little break from the grammar. We are going to see the numbers, which are useful, obviously, because we do use numbers for many, many things. And normally, once people learn the numbers, for some reason, after a while, they get confused and they start making them up. I don't know why. So, that will do. Right, so let's see. Especially the traps where normally people fall into. So let's see what we have. Right, so we have I numeri, the numbers, which I have written in letters. I didn't write the actual numbers. So maybe you have to make a little bit more of an effort to memorize them. I'm going to read them for you. Let me see if we need an introduction. I don't think we need an introduction. I'll read the first a group of numbers, which are from 1 to 10. And then afterwards, I'll read the other group, which are from 11 to 19. These ones, you need to study them by heart. There is no other way because there is nothing to associate them with. Obviously, if you have done Spanish or French, they are similar. In fact, if you have done Spanish or French, and they are similar, you have to make to be even a little bit more careful, because some numbers it can sound a little bit similar. So sometimes, as I said, sometimes students start getting them confused, and they just make new numbers with the mixing the languages or saying certain numbers when they speak in Italian, they say certain numbers in another language. Normally Spanish is the the guilty language, the one that I don't know gets always mentioned, even if somebody has never done Spanish, actually, I have to say. Anyway, so let me read these numbers slowly, and I'm going to enunciate clearly, especially because, as I said, sometimes the letters, especially the end, end up being pronounced wrongly at some point. So let's learn them properly and let's memorize them. Also, one very important thing, as I said, I've seen it quite a bit. A very important thing is to read very well how they are written. Don't, otherwise we end up saying a word the way we think it's written, we think it's pronounced, or we think we've memorized actually, but in a wrong way. So look very well at the way they are written and don't add anything to them. Don't get anything out either. Right, let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nothing different from here. They must be pronounced exactly like this. I'll read the other group from 11 to 19. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So here, as I said, you need to learn these numbers from 1 to 19 by heart. What did I want to say? Let me see, what did I want to say actually about these numbers? Yeah, you learn them by heart. So from 1 to 10, they're not too difficult. One thing that one number that many pronounce not correctly is number 6, which is say. You need to pronounce the E as well. Say, not just say. Say. And so this is 10. I'm going to 10 because now we're going to see how we see the number 10, 10, when we are learning the numbers from 11 to 19. So basically, we have each of these numbers from 1 to 9 plus the number 10. But let's see, because at some points then it swaps the order and then it gets all confusing. So we have 11. So can you see it's 1 plus, so 1 plus 10. 12, 13, 14. Look very well the way they are written. 15, 16, 17. Can you see here? They swap the order, let's say. Instead of having the number and then number 10 afterwards, we have number 10 plus the number afterwards. So 17, 18, 19. So look very well the way they are written. So this, as I said, from 1 to 19 to be studied by heart. Let's see now, once you've learned those ones, then you can just learn the 20, 30, 40, 50, etc. And then you just add, obviously, like you do in other languages, like in English, you add the numbers from 1 to 9. Again, read exactly what you have, learn, memorize exactly what you have in front of you. Don't change any letters after a little bit. As I said, I've seen it so many times. I don't know why. I don't know. So this one is 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. As you can see, we have 20, which ends in an I, 30, which is in enta. All the others, up to 90, they end in anta. In fact, in Italy, normally when you turn 40, they say, now you've gone on to the antas. It's not anymore enti or enta, so you're still young. You've gone on to the antas. So it's from 40 onwards. As you can see, I'll say it because I've seen it quite a few times. As you can see, not one of them, not one of these, and with the letter E. So don't put it there. Yeah. So these ones do not change. They stay exactly as they are. What you do, like in other languages, like in English, if you want 20, we're not going to go for one. 22, we have 22 or 23, 24. So 23, 24, etc. Exactly the same with the others. Obviously, it doesn't happen very often that you have to write the whole number. However, you do pronounce them, you do use the numbers. And in fact, it's not very common to see them written unless probably the lower numbers. So do make an effort once in a while, go back and see how the numbers are written or spelled. So as I said, to any of these 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you add your number from 1 to 9. However, we have a couple of numbers. Numero 1, 1, and numero 8, 8, which starts with a vowel. So for all of them from 20 to 90, as you can see, I've used just one example with 30, 30, together with number 1 and number 2, number 8, and see what happens. As I said, we have 2 vowels here. So we drop the last vowel. We'll do it with all of them, as I said. If we are using 40, we drop A from 40. 50, all of them. We drop the last letter, the last vowel. And then we attach the number with 1 and 8. So we end up with 31 e 38 instead of 31 and 38, which is, it doesn't flow nicely. So this happens only with 1 and 8, and we do this with all the numbers from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. This is what we do. So after this ones, we have 100. 100 is 100. It is never un cento. It's like saying 100. 100 is 100. Nothing before. It's just 100, 100. Only When we have 200, 300, then we have 200, 300, 400. So keep in mind the O never becomes plural, it stays cento. We only add the numbers from 1 to 9. And I repeat, 100 is cento, nothing else. And now something that comes to mind, in English, in certain, especially certain countries, I'll say it because it's a mixture between the hundreds and the thousands. I'll say it now because it's come to mind now. Some countries you say for 1,500, you say 1,500. You cannot do that in Italian. Not possible. I said this with Italian accent, so it's more Tiffany's very, very strict rule. It is not possible. You have to say 1,500. So I think that's done. Now let's come to the thousands. So when you're saying 1,000 is mille, nothing else. It's not uno mille or un mille or who knows what else. Nothing, no, it's not that. It's just mille, 1,000, mille. Only if you have 2,000, 3,000, 4, etc. Then you put your number due, tre, or whatever it is, and then the thousands becomes plural in Latin or whatever, doesn't matter, and it is mila. So only when it's plural, from 2 onwards, becomes mila. The singular, the 1,000, is mille. The plural, 2, 3, 4, etc., is mila. 2.000, 3.000, 4.000, etc. So these are just the numbers. Now, when you're talking about a date, a year in particular, what you can do in English is, what you do in English is separate basically the number in twos. 1985 here, for example. You cannot do that in Italian. I won't even say it loud. You can't do it in Italian. You have to say 1985, which I have written here, mille, 1,000. 900, 900. 80, 85, 5. 1985. Obviously, you learn later on, we can see the numbers and how to use them, how to abbreviate them. But for now, let's see the complete numbers as they are without too many abbreviations, or any, in fact. Just a little thing that I've put here in brackets. If you want to say that something happened or you were born in a certain year, before the year you use nel, which means literally in the. So nel 1985 in 1985. And finally, when do we normally, not only obviously, but at the very beginning when we are learning a language, and we are learning to give information about ourselves, when can we use a number? First of all, normally when we ask somebody's age. And so how do we ask somebody's age in Italian? In English, you ask how old somebody is. And I remember learning this when I was 11 in school in Italy, obviously. And they said, oh, you learn, you ask how old somebody is. It was really funny for 11 years old. Sorry, just a second. A little technical problem. Dog needs it to come in. So yeah, that was really funny. Instead, what we ask is, how many years do you have? So it's quanti anni hai? So how many years you have? Let you think, there is a H, H in there, but we don't pronounce it. Quanti anni hai? How old are you? The answer, or the number, obviously I put 35 or 35 anni. So you need to say the whole thing. You can just say ho 35. You have to say the whole thing. Ho 35 anni. I have 35 years. In English, you can just say I am 35, full stop. In Italian, you need to say anni as well. In brackets, you have the verb that we use to ask this question in particular, which is avere. Avere, to have, to own in general as main meaning. But also we can use it for asking somebody's age. And it is a very, very important verb to learn, to know, because you'll use it, you'll need it forever for many, many things. And in fact, is definitely one of the first verbs, irregular, that needs studying. As important as essere, to be. Very important, to be, to have. Let me see what else we can say about numbers. Probably this is it for now. As I said, I don't want to say too many things and fill up the whole video with too much information and fill up your brains with too much information. I know you can stop it and go back to it, but it is better really to learn a little bit at a time. And because anyway, normally, even if we listen to a lot of information all together, we cannot retain it all. So you need to listen to the same things over and over. And probably that is why I tend to repeat things over and over. Anyway, so I hope this was useful. And we will see again in the future how to use numbers and for what. Again, feel free to ask me questions. And I will go for now. So this was lesson 10, lezione 10. And there's another opportunity to learn and practice your numbers. Keep looking at the lesson numbers. And I will see you next time with lesson 11, lezione 11. So thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Alla prossima. Ciao.